I am on the side doing some alterations on a beaded wedding gown. Just thought I'd drop this here on YouTube while I'm finishing it up. Um, I was explaining this on IG, but I am working on this beaded gown. Working on this beaded gown. Let me make sure my notifications are good. Okay. All right. So this is a unique beaded gown, and the bottom of it is heavily beaded. I don't know if you can see that. It's like bead. You know what? All right. Hey Nina, how art thou? So yeah, all of the beads are at the bottom of this gown. So it needed to be hemmed about 3 inches. All right. So this can't be hemmed 3 inches. One, the beads will fall off. But the main thing is you would lose the majority of the pretty beads. And you would lose that little basic detail at the bottom, the finished edge. So, I mean, when I say that will be a lot of work and a lot of money. So, what I opted to do was with the customer's position, customer's permission, is to shorten it from the waist. So, what I did was I chalked out on her body, I chalked out her waistline, and then I dropped it about 3 inches because it needs to be about 3 inches cut off the length. So I shortened it, made my markings at the waist, and then dropped it down about 3 inches. But before I cut it at the lines, I actually marked the seam allowance. Hey Nina, I marked about a half an inch seam allowance, and then I cut, and then I reattached it. Okay. So when you do that, a lot of times the waist, when you cut down into the hip part area, of course, it gets wider, right? So then it means that the skirt, when you reattach it, the skirt part is going to be, there's going to be more fabric at the waistline on the skirt part than the bodice part. I hope that makes sense. So I had to taper back in to make it fit the waist. But in this case, she could use a little bit of room. And so what I did was, this fabric is stretchy, one. But I tapered the darts in more. You can see right here, I tapered the darts in more, just a little bit so it can fit. There was 4 darts, two in the front, two in the back. So I tapered those to make that fit in, and that came out perfect. So I did go ahead and I stitched them together already. Just moving this back so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I stitched it already together and that part fits. So the only thing I'm doing now is reinforcing the seam, reinforcing that. I'm gonna go back over it and I'm gonna reinsert the zipper back in. After I serge this, of course, I want to clean that up. And then that's it. That's the only thing that I had to do. So I don't know if you can see this here, but I'm working on my the Singer sewing machine. And I'm working on this one because it has the stretch stitch feature. My Juki does not have stretch stitch on it, although it will work on stretch fabric. But for some reason, the stitches, I need to check the tension on it because the top stitch was a little bit looser than the bottom. So this is why I'm reinforcing. So I have my zipper foot on this piece here. And let me make sure, I didn't want to hide the comment, making a mess here. Uh-oh. No, I don't did, oh, I was gonna say I done did something. All right, there we go. I just want to make sure all the comments are there. Hi to all 5 of you that are in. Good morning. It's been a long while. Thank y'all for watching in. So I do have, like I said, the reason why I'm using this machine is because it does have that stretch stitch feature. And so I wanted to be able to give. Okay. I wanted to have a give effect to it. Actually, there we go. Yeah. So what the stretch stitch does, it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it creates that give. Uh, Now the reason why I have the zipper put on because I needed it to get close to the edge because there are beads along the way, and so I don't need it to break my needle. All right, I need to speed this up a little bit, so I need to put my stitch length probably at about 3. I don't know why I had it on 1. Yeah, that's much better. Is anybody doing any sewing today? Now, if you're speaking, I can't see comments. I don't know if I did something or maybe you just watching. But I do thank you for coming in. Can you all, you know what? You might not be able to hear me. Uh oh. Let me get y'all my nose. Can y'all hear me okay? Because it might be my earbuds. Let me know if you can hear me or if you can't. Um, let me see here. You can hear okay? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. I'll put this back. So once I do this, then I'm going to take it over to the surgeon. I shouldn't be popping in it, breaking in needles here because I've already created a channel with the stitch that's here, so it should have already moved all of the beads out of the way. So I shouldn't be traveling over any beads. The only thing I don't like about this machine, using this one, is because it's slow. Like when I'm so used to, hey Kay, when I'm so used to working on my Juki because it goes fast, I'm always trying to make this go. Like I'm trying to uh, push the pedal to the to the floor. I don't know why I have this profile. By the way, I'm your grandson. What? Had why I have this profile? By the way, I'm your grandson. Okay, that's crazy. You can't be my grandson. My grandson can't use Facebook. How about that? Unless that was a typo. Not sure. Let me know what that is. All right, I feel something right here, so I hope I'm not gonna have any problems when it gets to this point. Sometimes when I think I'm coming across a testy area, and I'll slow down. Okay. All right, I got past that point. I feel like I'm just going so slow. I'm almost there. Once I get this sewn in, like I said, I'll take it over to the serger and finish the edge off, finish the seam allowance off, and then I'll give it a good press. And then go from there. I don't know if you got a chance to see my video from yesterday, but it was a really short one. Um, and I had to hem a pair of pants before I went to work, which I call Joe's place. By the way, I got a question for you all. For those of you that use this, thank you for the hearts, by the way. For those of you that use this machine or one like it, how much success are you having with this needle threader feature? Like, I can never get that thing. I must have fought with this thing for about 20 minutes. And it should be so easy. I had one machine, like, it was really easy. All you do is drop it, thread the thread over the little bar, and then it pulls the thread through. But this one, maybe it's malfunctioning. I don't know. So here I am cleaning up um, threads out of the zipper channel. I think I'm going to end up cutting. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit because it has a. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. So you can see right here that they cleaned up the end of the zipper by folding a piece of tool around the end of the zipper. But it's too long now. But of course, I had to shave 3 inches off. So I'm going to end up cutting that off so that I can get the zipper back on. But before I do that, I'm going to insert the zipper. And it may be one end might be shorter than the other one. I don't know. We'll see. But that'll give me an opportunity to get that straight. Hopefully it's right. I feel like I measured it just right. Um, yeah, it's lining up at the same spot. So I should be good to go with the zipper. But now I am going to move away from here, and I'm going to take you guys with me to search. Actually, all right. So this is where I am. I'm going over. I am going over there. All right. So travel with me over there. I don't know. You might still be able to hear me. I don't know. I've got to take this thread comb off of that one, and I will be there. All right. I still owe you all a view of my the redo of my room, which I will give you all that when I get a chance to. All right. I'm scooting my chair over. I'm just gonna tie my thread off. Mm, okay. I'll pick those up later. One thing about it, I have a few slips all over the place, and I'm so thankful I already had this color thread on my machine. It was from a project that I just completed. So I have to rethread the whole thing. All right, get this in here. Of course, I can't see your comments if you're commenting right now, so I'll get back to it in just a minute. This won't take me long, not even a minute. Now, I do have to make sure that there's no beads or anything in between the seam allowances because if there are, then of course it's going to crush it out. So I am going to remove, there's some rocaille beads in between. Um, so I'm just feeling through to see where there may be some beads because that'll be a reason for it to break my machine. Sometimes the sequins will do it too. If there's too many sequins in there or in the way, I have to get those out of the way. All right. So hopefully I won't have no problems with it. I'll drop another hotel bead. All right, I'm just going through to see where my problem areas might be. All right. I'm just clearing out some of these sequins here too at the beginning. So hopefully this will work, y'all. So let's see. I think this was the reason why from the, oh, hang on. I didn't pull that knotted edge of the thread all the way through. There we go. That was going to be a problem in a minute. Tied the threads off, but I didn't pull past the knotted edge, the knotted thread. All right. Once I do this, I'll get to my Juki. All right, y'all. I hope y'all praying because I need to be able to get past these stitches. I need no broken needle. I really need to be a little bit closer. Yeah, see, I'm going slow because I'm nervous. I don't want this to break. Usually I would fly through this, but those sequence in between makes me really nervous. And then the one thing about this particular serger is that I don't know if the blade is not over far enough, but somehow the blade it doesn't cut the fabric all off. Like it gets caught, some of the fabric gets stuck in between the blades, and then it causes problems. I'm just gonna really have to invest back into my get me another industrial serger. Sorry, I'm not talking much because I'm trying to focus here and get past these thick threads. It could be also that the needle, the blade needs to be changed again. So far, so good. It's not breaking anything. I'm halfway. I'm at the center of the dress. All right, so far, so good. No problem. All right, let's keep it going. Okay, almost nearing the end. Okay. Whew, made it through. Thank God I made it. Thank God I made it. All right, so I'm gonna switch you guys over here and put you right here in front of me. All right, so now I'm gonna get this zipper in. All right, and you can see what I'm doing right here. All right, so I wish that wording wasn't in the way. I don't know how to remove that. Um, Sorry about that. I don't know what it just did, but anyway, it won't let me move that out the way. Anyway, so I've got the edge serged, so it's all serged in there. Okay. So now I'm just going to go in and put the zipper back in. That's one thing about threads, y'all. Y'all ever hear me say, for somebody who likes to sew and create, I hate thread. I hate string. But there's nothing I can do about it because that's part of the process, right? Now, one thing about this particular dress, it has little tiny sequins all over the place, so they get caught on each other. All right, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use this one-sided zipper foot. I don't know if you can see it. It has a little cutout groove on the left side, and so I'm gonna use that. You guys can see that. I'm gonna use that for my zipper insertion. Then I'll go back in and apply the bias binding or the tube binding. I want to move that out the way. I shouldn't have any problems with stretching or anything like that because it's already been applied in here once. Um, so I'm basically just putting it back where it was, just a few inches shorter. I'm going in to try to remove some of these threads beforehand. You don't want the threads to be a problem later, whereas you're trying to zip it up and threads get caught in the zipper and it tears the zipper up. Just go ahead and get some of those out of the way. So I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday in my video, but and if you're following me on Instagram, you probably heard me talk about this. But I am starting back my fitness journey, and I don't have a deadline. I don't have a you know, time frame where I want to finish this. I just needed to get started. I've been saying for a while I'm gonna get out there and get back to walking. Many of you probably remember me. It's been about 3 years now since I've been walking. Um, it's been about 3 years now since I've been full time back at the job where I am. So the way my schedule is set up is just crazy. But I realized that it really was just only excuses of me trying to, not doing what I needed to do. I'm not a early person. Like I'm not that's going to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go exercising. I just know that about me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pretend. No, not going to set myself up for failure in that way. But I do like to get up maybe about 7:30, no later than 8 o'clock to get out and walk in my neighborhood. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I started back yesterday, walking the neighborhood. I walked a mile, and it was nice. The weather was nice. It was perfect. Sun shining outside, fresh air, and the temperature was just right for walking. And then I was able to go. Like my halfway point is going to my mother's house, which she lives one street over from me. Um, So I got to stop and visit with her, have some coffee. That was one of my favorite pastimes, and I enjoyed it. Let me stitch the bottom edge of this came undone. So today, funny story is that I did not get to walk this morning because I overslept. I overslept and sleep was just good this morning, y'all. And I thought, okay, well, I'll go ahead and get on up and get dressed. And not even thinking about it, got my shoes on, got my gear on, my clothes on, and everything. And got my earbuds on, put my license in my pocket, y'all. And got my keys. I like to just take my house keys, my license, in case you never know, you might fall out in the street somewhere and somebody need to identify you. So I put my license in my pocket, getting ready to tuck my phone in pocket, got to the door to open the door, and the doorbell rang. I was like, oh my God, who is this at my door this time of morning? So of course I creep into my sewing room because it's right next to my door. And I peep out the window, it's my daughter-in-law. And I was like, oh my God. I keep my grandbaby on pieces. Oh, I was getting ready to go out the house. I completely forgot. I just wasn't even thinking. I was so excited about my getting out there walking. Didn't even dawn on me that it's Tuesday. So I didn't get to go out and walk, but I did the walking in house. I did that. And I pulled my stretch bands out and I um used those to exercise. And I may still go back out a little bit later and do what I need to do. Oh, thread pop. Oh, I made a thread. I forgot. Now, why y'all didn't tell me I forgot to replace the thread? Um, let me grab this one. Uh-oh, thread. But yeah, I completely forgot that today was Tuesday. So y'all know I must have been sleeping real good. And but nonetheless, I was able to I was able to get some exercise in and do what I needed to do. So I got my stretch bands out, pulled them out, did a few stretches, leg lunges, plunges, whatever you want to call them things. I stretched my legs out, stretched my arms out, because I really need to get rid of Big Bertha, this big belly. That's what I'm calling her, Bertha the belly. And, I just really just start a habit of staying fit, moving, and exercising. I don't know about you guys, but I feel better. I breathe better. My whole day is better. I think better. I move faster. You know, longevity is what I'm looking for. And I just think about in the long haul. You know, I got three grandbabies. You know, and they are pretty active. So I want to be walking around here huffing and puffing trying to keep up with them. You know, and I just realized during this whole month of April, like I was super busy, like super busy. And one thing my husband told me, he said, you know what? He said you need to be mindful of your health. He said because he's older than me. He said I don't want to be around here pushing you in a wheelchair. Like no sir, you won't be doing that. Not because of something I could control, you know. So I am trying to control the controllable, and that's get my butt out there and do what I need to do to stay fit and stay healthy. All right, so as I'm sewing the zipper in, I'm actually pushing the zipper open so that I can get as close to the zipper as possible. Now, with the bead work, I don't want to get too close because the zipper, the teeth has to move up. Um, the pull has to move up and down the teeth, and it has to have a channel to be able to move up and down. And if there's anything impeding that or standing in the way or blocking it, like a pearl or sequin or bead, and then it's not going to move like it needs to move. So I've got it. I don't know if you can see that. So this is the part that I didn't have to move. All right, so that was there. So you can see how close that is to the edge of the fabric. And this is what I just applied. So just want to make sure that it gets back like it was. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and press it and make sure I press that fabric out of the way so it'll stay. So nothing will be in the way of that fabric, of that the zipper teeth or the zipper pull rather. Now, what I need to do is change my foot because there's a left and a right zipper foot. There's a right and a left zipper foot. So I'm getting ready to put the opposite side in now so I can go down the opposite side of the zipper. I do have the narrow zipper foot, but that will help me in the long run. The ones that I'm using will actually get me closer to the fabric, closer to the teeth. Okay? So that's this foot. For your regular sewing machines, like your domestic sewing machines, you have that piece, that foot that you can just slide your foot over from left to right. Now, I may use that narrow foot to actually put the tool back in place, covering the zipper. I may do that. Making sure that that teeth is out of the way. Now, as I'm putting this back in, I'm not stretching, being careful not to stretch it. Be careful not to stretch the zipper or the fabric. I want to get it back in just like it was in the first place. I'm also careful that the fabric doesn't pull down. You know how it slides? Because if it slides, then it'll start stretching out the fabric. I don't want it to stretch, so I'm just careful to make sure that the fabric is not sliding off my table. And I think my thread just will be at the bottom, but I think I just made it. All right, so it looks like that I'm still going to be able to, let me zip this up really quick to make sure that one end is not longer than the other. The way you can tell if one end is longer than the other is that it bubbles at the end. Um, I did it. Okay. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that little bubble? So, show you how to fix that. Hang on one second. Okay. All right. So you see how that zipper one side bows and the other one doesn't? That means one side is longer than the other one. So I'm gonna fix that um, by cutting that in, cutting this off. So, if I don't have scissors by me. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this off just like that. Freeing that up. Okay. Okay. So see how much shorter that's the difference in the side? And usually that's what happens, about a half an inch difference on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Just want to make sure that that's all it is. I'm gonna go ahead and even that up and then slide the. Okay. So now they're even. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide the zipper pull back on to the zipper. I have to be careful and make sure that I get this on the zipper pull even, because if not, it'll defeat the purpose. Okay. Oh, this is the trick. I've seen somebody do this with a fork, and on something I was watching. They were able to pull this back on by using a fork somehow. So all you need to do, there's little grooves in this zipper pull that you just slide, open up the zipper piece, and pull it back on. What I'm doing is trying to grab both. Okay, so I've got it back on there. It's even now. I'll pull that back up. Okay, so now you can see it's right here. It's even now. There's no bubble or anything like that. So if that ever happens, that's what all you need to do. Just open that zipper, keep up, and that's if you have enough pull at the bottom to be able to do that. And I'm just gonna go over this to see if I have another. mm, I'm gonna have to wind at the bottom. That's somebody creep. I saw somebody creeping by my house. Thought I had an extra bobbin, but obviously I didn't. Not wound. So, but I'm going to do that now. And while I do that, I'm pretty sure I didn't cut my steamer on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cut my steamer on and then I'll press. Okay. Okay. Let me cut my iron up really quick and I'll come back and finish that. Uh, that way I can give it a good press. I'm still going to move this bobbin case out of the way. Oh, you know what? There's still thread in there. Why did that do that? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is while that I'm gonna still let that wind up so I can finish what I was doing. So two birds with one stone. Okay. Now I got thread just came undone, I guess. Sometimes I can get this thread in first try. Sometimes I have to try a few times and then even cut my thread at a slant in order to get it in the needle. All right. So now I'm gonna change. I'm going to change back to this one. I don't think I need to use a narrow foot and put my regular presser foot back on. Try to get some of these things out of the way. All right, so I'm just going to stitch over the bottom of this zipper. What happened? Got caught in the stitching job. All right. I hope you guys aren't making comments and I can't see them. Maybe I'm just being quiet. Um, but I honestly, last comment I see is from KK. I'm not sure if that's a real person or what. So I am going to, I'm going to push this back down inside because I want to be able to freely add that tape back on without the zipper pull being in the way. So I'm going to try to force this zipper pull back down in that little hole. Hopefully I can get it back down in there. Back down here. If y'all couldn't find it. Get it back down in the hole. So I can pull that out. Alright, so I want to be able to cover this back up. So I got to thread some strings. Let's clear this out of the way because it's keeping that from folding over. Cut a little bit of that excess out right there. Right now, we get that folded over. Hopefully, I can get this for both sides at the same time. Oop, I pinned my skin. You ever pin your skin to fabric or pin your skin to whatever you do? Don't hurt, it's just crazy. So basically, all this is doing is just covering over the zipper edge. Over the edge. Alright, so let's try this. Like I said, this is basically just to cover over the zipper and give it a clean finish. And then back up. And slide this up. Just pull out away from the end, from the bottom. I think I did capture everything in there. So once I do this, it's pretty much it. I'll just have to sew the hook and eye back to the top of the zipper. Give it a good press. Press down that waistband. Yeah, waistband. And that's it. Right, now I'm going to do the same thing and wrap this around the zipper. Pull this up a little bit. Getting this back inside the way it was. Because you want to make sure, especially if you're trying to do both sides at the same time. Now you could sew like the back end of the bias tape. Like you could sew it down on the back side, stick that down, and then wrap it over towards the front, and then top stitch it. But I'm trying to be lazy, trying to get it all done at one time, so I can be done. All right, so I'm going to start off by stitching the bottom, go up a bit away, and I'm going to pull the zipper pull back down as much as I can. All right, and I'm going to try to open this piece up. Anyway, so far so good, man. Seems to be coming along. Okay, all right. That's it for the fire binding. Of course, the edge, I just have to trim that bottom piece off. I don't have anything to cover that back over with, but I did stitch over both ends. Let me just stitch over this one more time. I may have something in my stash that I can cover over. You know, one thing about being at home and then having your windows open or whatever, I always hear car doors closing and open. I don't know if it's just sitting there in my imagination. And I look out there, there's nothing out there. What is that? All right, so now I'm going to go back, pull this zipper pull back through the hole and pull the zipper up. Now I got a problem, which I didn't catch this. I did not catch this. Now the zipper, the seams match up perfect. I don't know if you can see. Uh, there's just a fraction off right there at the waist. But here's where I have a problem. How did that happen? I wasn't paying attention. So what am I going to do to fix that? Okay. So what I am going to do, that is the top of the zipper. Oh, it already had the hook in it right there. I didn't take it out. I forgot I didn't need to take it out. How did that happen? Hmm. Alright, so what I am going to do is undo this. The only thing to do at this point without having to go back into that zipper is to bring this down a little bit at the top. So I'm paying attention. So I'm out. So I have to bring this down a little bit. And when I tell you, whoever fits this really close, there's a little band. I don't know if you can see that, that goes across the top. So what I'm going to do is just try to bring this down a little bit. I need my seam ripper for this. I thought I was home free. But that happens. That's some of the things you have to pay attention to, and I didn't. That's where that, remember that half an inch that I cut off at the bottom? That's what this is. That's why it was long. But I thought it was because maybe I cut that much difference when I cut the waist part off. And no, that's from, it wasn't aligned right. So that waist seam should have been a lot more, a lot different than what it was. So I gotta figure out which side I'm going to. Make it so I do open this up. I can do this. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. And then bring that over. Now before I pin that, I need to see if that's going to be enough. So basically what I did, just opened the zipper part up and just folded it down a little bit more. And let's see if that's going to meet my requirement. Okay, so I need to bring it down a little bit more. So basically, I need to fold this down a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, it's there we go. Every time I get my nails done, I realize why I don't get them done. Okay. All right. So now we're back where we need to be. All right. We got that one side. Once I get this down, hand stitch down, put the hook back on it, then it'll be okay. So I am going to, I'm threading this with two threads. I want it to be, oh, that's a long one. Mhm. If I can get this in here, this sometimes is a challenge. Might not be able to do it with this little needle. I know I bought some more. You know, having the right needle to work with from the start is key. Mm, I need a sharp. I need a darning needle. That's what I need. Put this under the light so I can see. Okay. All right. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Make sure I put this in here good. Stabilize this good. I'm gonna make sure I tack this down across the top because I want this to stay in place. Alright, so I just gotta get first it'll stay in place. Alright, now we get this back in. Oops, alright. Like stuff happens when you're almost at the end. and you're excited to finish, and then come up on again. That's okay. All things are working for my good. I'm just about finished. All right, let me give it one little thread across the neck of the hook. Did you know that these are referred to the male and the female parts? The hook and eye. There's a male part and there's a female part. And guess which is which? Kind of self-explanatory. Alright, I do need to attach back this piece right here that I undid. And then lay this out comfortably to the sun. How about that? Um, I had a call coming in. Sorry. Alright, loop it and knots it. Alright. Once I finish the end of hemming something or packing something, I don't like to just cut the threads off right where I finished. I like to thread it through the fabric and pull it so you don't see the end of where it was cut off at. Okay. Alright. So it's back in stride again. I'm just happy to see you and me back in stride again. Alright, so there's the hook and eye, quick fix, and it's leading up. Alright, and then at the bottom, got the whole zipper thing going on. And there, I'm not gonna worry about that part right there. I'm gonna let that be. But now I'm gonna give it a good press, and that's it. That's it, folks. Alright, so I didn't have to disturb the hem because of the way it's made. Like it's heavily beaded across the top, and then it's beaded throughout here, but it looks like all the beads fall to the bottom, and that's the part you want to keep. Like that's the beauty of that hem. So when she comes over, of course I haven't tried on. I'll take a picture of it so you all can see it and see how it fits. But now I'm going to give it a good press, and that's it. All right. So thank y'all for watching with me. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Um, I clearly did not expect this. I don't know. I don't even know what time it is because the phone call kind of jarred the time. But anyway, I love y'all in life. Blessings and peace. And I'll be in again at some point. Talk to you soon.